Hello, my name is May Flaum, and today I'm going to be creating an Easter Bunny wall hanging with Dress It Up buttons. You're going to need some kind of wood item, or I suppose you could make a banner or something else, but I'm using this that I found at the craft store, wood base that has a bunny on it. I've painted it white, and now I'm going to be putting dots of acrylic paint. So for this project, you will need the base, something that you're creating on, acrylic paint, paint brushes, and then either a rag or paper towel, something of that nature. You're also going to need glue. You can either use hot glue or a different type of glue if you prefer. And of course, an assortment of Dress It Up buttons. Now, as you can see, I am seemingly randomly, I say seemingly because I am trying to space it out, but I am putting dots of spring color paint all over, not the bunny, but all over the base of this round plaque. And as I said before, this is just something I picked up at the craft store. Lots of craft stores and even other types of stores in their craft aisle will have wood seasonal decor. This would work for any holiday. And this is a super simple way to get a lot of paint and a lot of fun without a lot of stress or without having any particular skill in painting. So what I am doing now is taking the paint and just within the color, so kind of making an area around, I'm blending and moving out the color, but not with other colors, just where it is. And I'm really focusing around the edges. So the edges of our plaque as well as the edges of our bunny. And the reason for this is I'm just trying to get this set up so that it's going to be really easy to move everything around. Now, as you can see, as we go along here, we're going to have bigger blobs of color. And then what I'm going to do is go in here and blob all the color, and it's going to look a little muddy and it's going to look messy, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, this looks terrible. But just hang on a second, keep going, because if you do, and what I'm doing here is just getting paint into the little cracks there. If you keep going, I promise it's all going to work out. Don't overwork it though. Go ahead and just make those blobs and let them be. Just make sure there's paint all over everything. Then take your rag or your paper towel and press down. So you're not smearing, you're just pressing down. And what this is going to do is reveal a lot of that undercolor that we spread around. It's going to take away a lot of the muddiness that can happen. And you can take away as much as you want. Another thing that you can do is put white paint on either a foam brush or a paper towel, just a tiny, tiny bit, and you can dab it around to add white back in if it gets too colorful. You can also, as I'm doing here, repaint the bunny if there gets to be too much color. Just spread another layer of white paint over the top of your bunny to get it back to where you want it to be. Of course, you could also color this and add decorations, but I want to keep Mr. Bunny fairly simple because I'm using all those little wooden dots that you see around the edge. I'm using those with an assortment of Dress It Up flowers and Easter buttons. So I've got carrots, I've got bunnies, I've got flowers, I've got Easter eggs, I've got all kinds of fun stuff here, and you can mix and match. Maybe you have some older buttons to mix with some newer. That's great too. You can remove the shanks. Here you see me taking a cutter just to remove the shank. I'm using hot glue for this project, but again, you can just use a really strong glue. I just wanted this to be quick drying. I did not want to have to wait for glue to dry. And you're going to apply each one. Now, some of them I'm going to remove the shanks, sometimes not. Because of how this is designed, because of all those little bumps all around the edge, well, sometimes I'm going to be able to use the shank still. If I'm putting it between two of the dots, I can very easily just use have the shank on there and just place that shank between the two dots of wood. It'll really just depend, again, where am I trying to place this? Do I need to remove the shank or not? And I've got butterflies. I've got loads of buttons here to play with, and I like the large daisies. I think they're fun to throw in the mix. Lots of colors going on, lots of decoration going on, and there's a lot of ways that you could do a project like this. Now, this is a lot of buttons and very large scale. You could very easily scale this down to your own project size as well. This could be something very, very small. So please don't feel intimidated or think this is just too much big creating, too many buttons. You could do this a lot smaller scale. You could also mix in sew through or round buttons if you like. You could mix in a lot of different things here. There's definitely no wrong way to do this. Now, again, as you see, I just keep mixing and matching, and I'm just kind of playing with where do I want the eggs? Where do I want the bunnies, the flowers, the butterflies? Do I want some of the things layered as you see me doing here? Do I want some of the items to stand alone? And it is all going to come down to personal preference. What I love about this project is, number one, there's no specific technique, know-how other than if you are using hot glue, be very, very cautious that your hot glue does not burn you. Be very careful about that. If you're going to do this as a family project with children, I would advise not using hot glue. Use a slow drying but strong glue that they can use without risk of burn. That's going to be a lot better for you. And really just enjoy the process of playing and creating. You could add words, you could add other details. You can add as much or as little as you would like. The idea here is let's get our spring buttons out, let's put them up in our home, and let's decorate, let's celebrate, and let's really enjoy the season. I love how Dress It Up Buttons has so many different options, from bunnies to flowers to Easter eggs to chocolate bunnies for spring. There are so many things that we can create with and have a good time with, and I love each and every one of them. I hope that you have enjoyed this little tutorial. As you can see, we've got a lot of bold color. It's a lot going on, but it all comes together beautifully with that big white bunny in the middle. I love the results, and I hope you do too. If you create something inspired by this or perhaps one of our other tutorials, be sure to tag Dress It Up Buttons. We always love seeing what you create on social media, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Thank you so much for tuning in.